What is going on, everybody? This is Rawstarr, and I'm, of course, joined with CW as always.
Mm-hmm.
And you're listening to The Misfit Effect. Today we have a great honor, too. We have a brand new talent in the industry, and he's also a very talented musician.
What?
I can't even say the word. Magician.
What?
Magician.
He does magic. That might work better.
I mean, yeah, he does magic.
He's a talented magician.
Yeah.
There you go. Got it. So, welcome to the Misfit Effect. Crow.
What's up?
1, 2, 3.
I'm gonna be true.
1, 3.
I'm gonna be honest.
Mm-hmm.
For like when my grandma was still alive, and I told her like, "Oh, I'm gonna do magic and everything." For years, it was always, "What type of music do you do?"
Wow.
So yeah,
Wow.
I'm used to that. That's
funny.
We're good.
So no, honestly,
Rawstarr is in his 30s, everyone.
I mean, I know the difference.
Do you?
Yes, I do. I know the difference between magic and music.
But music is magic.
That's actually very true.
Boom.
Hey,
so,
not everybody
Crow,
magic.
Tell us about yourself.
Ooh, man. How do I tell you about myself? Where do we start off with? Do you want to start off with magic, or do you want to start off with the industry stuff?
You can do whatever you want to talk about. It's all
Well,
about you.
let's start with first how you kind of got into these things that you do.
Ooh.
And your kind of approach to different things.
Okay.
So let's start with that.
All right. Well, the magic thing
Like
started-
your life philosophy that influences your direction.
That's a good place to start. I like that
All right.
idea. Yeah, the magic thing started when I was about 5 years old. I saw a magician come to my elementary school. I saw him, and I was like, yeah, I can do that. And then that Christmas, a friend of the family got me a magic kit, and it was all downhill ever since then. Round about 13 was when I started working like semi-professionally, like doing little birthday parties and stuff. And then I tried leaving it at one point. I became a body piercer. I became a stuntman, DJ at a strip club and everything. DJ at the strip club was kind of where the industry thing started.
Okay.
And everything. So about 18 or so was when I got hired at the strip club to start working as a DJ/bouncer, being a big guy and everything. They originally wanted the bouncer, and then they were like, "Oh, you can talk on a microphone. Can you press the play button?" And stuff. So
I want to say something really quick, and this could fall under stereotypes and all that stuff like that. But you said you was a body. Hear me out.
Yeah.
You said you was a body piercer.
yeah,
And you're the first person that I hear that does body piercings.
doesn't have
a
piercing.
whole piercing.
Yeah, no, I've had them. They're all gone now.
Okay.
But like, yeah, I've had them all. I mean, I'd probably say piercing wise, I've had probably 20 or 30 some odd needles go through my body at some point or another.
Oh, man.
And stuff like, but somehow my body, when I took them all out, the only holes that you can see are like in my ears, like because of the beard and everything. You can't see any of the lip piercings that I had. You can't see the septum or the nose or anything.
Because the only guy that ever had pierced was my ears.
Yeah.
And that was, oh my God, how many years ago? I'm old. I was 6 when I got my left ear pierced.
30-something years ago.
I was 17 when I got my right ear pierced.
I mean, I'll give you cool points for that. Yeah, 6 years old. That's cool.
Yeah, and I got in trouble so much. We wasn't supposed to get piercings back then when I was a child.
That was back in the days.
That was back in the 80s.
Everybody had like the one piercing on the one side or so. It was all rebellious.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's cool though. I didn't know all of that.
Yeah. I mean, there's a mixture of different things, but for some reason, my mom, I grew up in a household of nothing but women with a single mom, 2 other sisters, and my mom was always into this idea of like teach them random different things. So let them explore, let them find different things going on in their life. So like I took acting classes as a kid and everything, which really helped with the magic, being on stage, pretending that I actually have these magic powers. Sorry.
Cool.
Are you from this state or are you from it?
No, I'm originally from Tucson, Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tucson.
Yeah. There's that smell. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Dietz Elementary, and then I went to Carson Middle School.
Oh, shit.
And then there's one other school. I just can't remember. I only went there for a year. I can't remember the name of it.
So it was Tucson?
Yeah. Golf and stuff. Can't get enough.
Oh, shit. Skate country?
Yeah, skate country, yeah.
No idea what you're talking about.
No, that was
there was
all
this
there was to do.
This other place that shut down like before even I moved away, but called Wonderland, where all the arcade machines were a nickel.
Yep. There was also
and they didn't really care if your parents left you there.
Yeah. They literally left you there.
Yeah, they left you there and come back at like midnight.
Yeah.
Because it closed at like 1 or 2, and then like you're like, yeah.
Yeah,
I ran out of $5 I had. Okay.
What was that cartoon, like Wreck-It Ralph or something, where like you actually saw the parents at, like, nowadays that would not be a thing, but back in the day, no, that was a thing. I got left at arcades all the time. Yeah.
Like if you really wanted to snatch up a kid.
I will say this. I will say this,
kid.
like, because it wasn't a quarter, but I think it was in Indianapolis. They had Sega World.
Oh yeah, Sega World, the mall.
Yeah. Sega World was fun.
Okay, from Tucson, do you remember like Discovery Zone at all?
Yeah, DZ, where our kids want to be. Yeah,
we had one of those.
Smell like
it was a chain.
Feet.
They went around.
I can relate to that one.
Smell bad.
But it was so fun. You didn't care about the smell because you always wanted to do that zip line thing and fall off halfway through.
See, I was in an argument with someone the other day, and we were talking about like little kids, like 5 to 8. And I'm like, they were like, why do parents take their kids to Chuck E. Cheese? It's nothing to do. Why don't you take them to Discovery Zone? It's more fun. And I'm like, as a child, I enjoyed Chuck E. Cheese more than Discovery Zone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, it's not even a comparison.
I mean, I guess it depends on what kind of child you have.
And then,
you have like an active, I want to run around, or like I like playing video games.
And then they also try to say that, and this is only in Indiana, Science Central was more fun too.
Science Central is this place in Fort Wayne. It's this big warehouse, and the focus is science. Yeah. So they teach kids about science, like centrifugal force and all this stuff in a fun way. And yeah, Science Central is pretty fun.
I actually like that.
I didn't say it wasn't fun.
Yeah. It's not as fun as like Discovery Zone or Chuck E. Cheese. There's not enough attractions at Science Central.
It's like
not enough stuff.
You go running, slam your head into some padded wall or so, and then you learn the science of like, this is centrifugal force.
See, and the thing is like, I went to Chuck E. Cheese recently in my home city, and it's like they took up so much stuff. I'm like, well, on one end, you can get by one card, and it's good for like a straight up hour. You can play how many games you want to. So if you got like 5,
they have like a thing now. It's like by time.
Yeah. So and you can pause it too. And the thing is,
that's interesting.
And the thing is, like, if you got 5 kids,
expensive too.
If you got 5 kids, you can just hit it on each one.
Oh,
damn.
Yeah. That's what I was doing.
Where was this crap when I was a kid?
So are they making most of their money on pizza now?
Well, the thing is like some people.
I like their pizza.
I like people buy more cars.
The Chuck E. Cheese pizza.
Yeah, I wish I had. I don't wish I had a kid to go to Chuck E. Cheese. Maybe I wish I knew somebody that had a child that I was like, this is cool. Yeah. I could be like, let's go to Chuck E. Cheese because I want some pizza.
And the thing is like,
I'm a creep.
Well, okay, so I don't know how big of a chain this was.
Can order out.
Like Peter Piper Pizza.
Oh yeah,
from Tucson.
I heard Peter Piper.
That was way better than Chuck E. Cheese pizza.
Peter Piper pizza was better.
I don't know.
Peter
if it was
Piper
a chain
was
that
good.
You grew up with, like, Peter Piper, but.
Did you ever eat at this place? What was the name? Wishbone.
Lucky Wishbone?
Lucky Wishbone, fish and like chicken? Yes. Oh my God.
That's one of the things I miss. That's one thing I miss about Tucson. Like that and EG's.
I remember EG's.
EG's in Tucson. Yeah. Like it was the worst Subway sandwiches, but for some reason they were so good. And all they were was just like really stale bread, really bad like lunch meat, and some mayo with some lettuce and like tomatoes.
Yeah, my mom used to eat those a lot, I feel like.
Yeah, EG's was awesome. We got to take you to Tucson now.
Yeah.
We got to go to Tucson. Road trip.
His cousin lives in Tucson.
You got a cousin in Tucson?
Yeah.
Tell him I'm sorry.
Yeah. He lives on the base.
Speaking of that, his dad told me to tell you hello yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Side note.
Yeah, Tucson is it's an interesting place.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. It's like I didn't realize I didn't go like around a lot of Tucson. Like Tucson is huge.
Yeah.
At the same time, sometimes it seems like packed, and then sometimes it seems like absolutely like empty.
I've heard people say about Tucson. Tucson is the smallest big city ever.
Yeah.
It's just a huge city, but everybody knows each other's shit.
I think I've only really been.
Sorry,
as
can
far
I
as,
cuss?
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Cool.
As
Sorry.
far as like, no, the thing is like he curses a lot, and I try not to. So it's like it's good.
Oh, we supposed not to?
No. I said you curse a lot, and I don't.
Yeah. Sometimes I can't find words.
You try to set a good example.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, no. He knows I count my cuss words, so I'm trying.
He's got a control thing about things.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm gonna control this cuss words for the
I've
year.
only said 22 this year.
Damn.
Lies.
No, it's only 22.
Sure.
I count every one.
You sure?
Yeah, I do.
What's the last one you
It's
said?
actually impressive.
The last one that I said.
Uh-huh.
I said F room.
F room? What's that?
Yeah, a sex room.
Sex room.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
Are you talking about the fuck room?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, damn. I was trying to get you to get 23.
No,
But
I was
it didn't
actually
work.
waiting
I was
on
like,
that one.
nah.
I was like, is he going to say it?
And the
No.
thing is, like, as soon as I said it, I blamed the person next to me because I was telling them about something, and I'm like,
Were you talking to Kristen? Who is that?
no, I was talking to Freak Nick.
Oh, yeah.
So, anyway, I think I've only been to Buckeye in Phoenix in Arizona.
Mm-hmm. It's Buckeye's a good place.
I mean, it was so. Oh, it was hot.
Yeah.
It's hot. It's hot.
That's part of the problem with Tucson.
It was
Like-
it was like, oh my god, like it's no moisture.
Yeah.
I need water.
Oh, one of the
It wasn't as bad as Africa heat, but
Yeah.
it was hot.
It's
one of
not
the- one of
humid.
the-
You just feel like
It's like you're
I don't know, like
It's just
like
on
almost
you.
like a
a dry
space heater.
Yeah.
like
a
just
dry
like-
It's just on
SpongeBob.
you. Yeah. No, one of the things that I like about like Los Angeles and stuff is I can open up a window without ever turning on my AC in my apartment. But in Arizona, if you don't have AC, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Like you need that AC.
Like you get in the house, like, oh God, like fuck, like
Why is it so
ooh, why is it so hot? And then you leave out and be like, oh, it's nice. It's 9 p.m. It's 89 degrees.
Yep.
It's hot. It's still hot, but it's dark, so I feel better.
How often does it rain in Arizona? How often does it rain?
Depends on what part of Arizona. Because
Yeah.
down actually in Tucson, like throughout the month of July, they have like monsoon season, which is almost raining every single day. Okay. But it's also got that heat, so it's like hot water. Like it's just
It'll be like
hot shower.
sunny,
Florida.
rain, and then if it doesn't rain if it only rains for like a couple, I remember if it only rains for like a couple minutes, that shit'll be dry in like 10 minutes.
That's how it is in Florida, and that's one thing I hate about it. Florida, though,
It's just not humid at all.
it just
really.
rained every day in Florida, like almost every day.
Well, it's basically a tropical country. Look at the United
Hold on.
States.
You talk about me saying
Like it's all kinds of different kind of like climates and stuff. Like it's like
This is weird.
it's weird. Like we got places where this is a large landmass, man.
I mean, one thing I will actually go over the U.S. compared to other countries because I've done some like international travels and stuff. But from the international travels, like I love Singapore. Singapore's a beautiful place. Singapore was a fun place. I've gotten so shit-faced in Singapore, but it's so fucking humid. It is unbearable how humid it is. Like you stay indoors, and then once the sun goes down, you like, okay, let's go walk from one club to another
How many
club.
countries you been?
Oh, they've never had a recorded temperature under 65.
In Singapore?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Ever.
Yeah. But it's like on the equator, so it doesn't really have seasons. It's not like there's no winter, there's no summer. It's just wet throughout the whole, like you're sweating your ass off throughout the whole entire time.
How many countries you been to? You say you
Countries I've been to, ones that come off the top of my head, like I can say Mexico, Canada, Philippines, Peru, Singapore, a couple other Asian countries. So
We get a lot of travelers in here.
I mean, like
that's all the magic. I do magic.
See, the thing is with me is like I've been to like almost all the states.
Yeah.
But I've only been to 5 countries.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite country yet?
I loved Ghana. Ghana was amazing.
Understandable, yeah.
Africa. So I've only been to like Ghana, Africa, Burkina Faso, England, Amsterdam, and the USA. Mm-hmm. I've been in 38 states.
Yeah, like I got my favorite states, but only based off of like different aspects of those states. Like Singapore was some like just really great partying, really great fun time. Not like partying of like nightclubs here in Hollywood or so, but like just having a great time or so. But like
I like Ghana because of the food. It was some places that the food was just great. I just hated seeing people as poor, like poor.
Yeah,
I mean poor, and it was just like it just hurt your heart because you just couldn't, give to certain people, especially in the worst parts of it. But
that was me in the Philippines. Yeah,
it was a place in Bolotanga, Ghana, Africa, that they made this steak, and I have never in my life ordered so many steaks from a place in my life. Like I kept ordering the entire night because it was so delicious. Damn. They gave it to us for lunch, and we were only there for a day. And I think I ordered like 8 because we stayed overnight. Yeah. 8 or 9.
Damn, that's ridiculous. But I imagine it's probably closer to fresh.
Yeah.
When I went to Zanzibar, I've been to Zanzibar. When I went to Zanzibar, the market was fresh. Yes, so fresh.
When you said Zanzibar,
things taste so different when they're fresh.
Yeah.
And they smell very different, too.
When you said Zanzibar, the song just popped in my head. That song just...
Oh, you talking about Tenacious D? So, Singapore.
Yeah.
That's an interesting place to say, like, just consistent partying. Like you said, not nightclubs, but just like...
No, it was fun. It was exciting. I have a lot of friends there. Like, somehow I managed to actually make friends in every place where I've, like, been to or so. Whether or not I make friends here in America that just so happen to live in other countries or go do the traveling to the other countries and make friends there. But, like, going back to, like, the food thing or so, I would say, like, food-wise, probably Peru was the best food I've ever had. But because of, like, their... I don't want to talk bad about Peru in any way because it's such a great country and I would absolutely go back in a heartbeat if given the chance. But their quality or so of like water or so is not adapted to America. So it made me sick, but I would so go do it again. I would have no problem. It was such good fresh food.
Okay.
That's one thing I did think about when I was in some other countries too, because like I don't know if you did in Zanzibar, but you take a bottle of water, or were you drinking the water there?
Oh no, I was drinking the water there, straight from the well, put in the freezer.
You're building up your immunities.
It was actually kind of weird at the end because like I stayed there for a month, about a week and a half before I left. Oh yeah, like about a week before I left. That's when I was able to get some malaria medication.
Yeah.
And people were like, "You're drinking the water? You didn't get sick?" I was like, "No." And then "You didn't get malaria?" I was like, "No." And they're like, "You belong here." And I was like, "Oh, thank you. I feel very welcomed. I'll come back." I still love it. I wish I would go back. I found so you can't actually, unless you have a Tanzanian relative, you can't actually own land. In Tanzania, you can get because actually no one I don't think can really own land. All the land is technically owned by the government, so you can get land rights from 30 to 99 years. There is 3.5 miles of beachfront property in Zanzibar. $130,000.
Damn,
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
No, you could develop it for a resort. Or like a villa or something.
Yeah. You actually realize, like, what can I do? Right? Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Like, here in the United States, we're getting way off topic. But like, if you think about property tax, like, think you buy a house for like $100,000 or whatever, and then you have a couple rough years, and you can't pay the property tax. You paid $100,000, and now you're about to lose something over $7,000. Like in other countries, they're like, "Hey, you bought the land? That's your land."
Yeah. Well, I think that's the same
better.
thing with like China or so with like Hong Kong Disney, or is Hong Kong its own country now? I'm blanking.
Hong Kong and China are different.
Yeah, but the with like Hong Kong Disney, I believe it's the exact same thing where it's like it's specifically more along the lines of like Americans cannot own Asian land, so it's like the land is actually owned by the government, everything, and it's like this weird deal with the government of like Hong Kong and Disney and stuff to make that happen. I'm a big Disney fanatic.
What country basically owns French? What country actually is over Tanzania?
Did you say what? What?
What country actually is over Tanzania?
No country is over Tanzania.
Yeah.
Tanzania had they had their independence from I believe it was maybe Britain in 1965.
That's what I
and then they had their second revolution in 1966 where they kicked out, I think it was 1966, where they kicked out all non-black residents. So my ex-wife, her grandfather had to leave, never to return.
Really?
Freddie Mercury and his family had to leave Zanzibar and move, never to return. So they've had their independence for a while.
So it's Britain. Okay,
Damn.
that's what I kind of meant.
But they've passed through, I think, Germany's hands, maybe at one point, Portugal at one point.
Yeah.
A lot of people have had their hands on Tanzania and Zanzibar. Zanzibar, especially, is mostly Muslim, I think, on the island, even though Tanzania is mostly Christian country. So that has a lot more Middle Eastern influence. So, like, my ex-wife, her grandfather was from Yemen.
Oh, okay. So. I like this. Come do a podcast and get some education.
They never got Ethiopia.
Hey, yeah.
That's random knowledge and stuff. Anyway,
so where's the next place you're gonna go to? Since we're standing on that, are you thinking about, or you would like to?
I'm kind of. There was a point where all of my traveling and stuff was due to work. It was due to having to go do magic shows like in random countries or random like states and stuff. So like I got burnt out on the traveling for a long time. And for me on airplanes, like for those who can't see me, I'm 6'5", so being on an airplane really sucks. Yeah. Like anybody who complains about like the wide space of like the seats going in closer, well, for me, it's like I get the seat in front of me that's on my knees, and spending 16 hours on an airplane kind of sucks. But every once in a while, I get the feeling of like, yeah, I kind of want to go do some traveling again, see if either a magic show will take me there or whether the industry itself will take me there as well.
First class, leg room.
No. I actually have a specific rule about that. I do not want to be spoiled. I would rather turn, if somebody even said, yeah, we're going to give you first class, I will actually take the ticket, turn it in for a lower class just so I like get the money back and everything.
What if they told you, we're putting you in first class because we realize you're 6'5" and you need the leg room?
I don't want to be spoiled because the next time I'm on an airplane,
spoiling you? What if they're just accommodating you?
The next time I'm going to be on an airplane, I'm not going to be happy. I'm going to know what it felt like. I will know what it felt like, and I'll be like, fuck this. I'm never flying again.
I laid down the whole last flight, and now I got to sit.
The only thing with that also is like you can get on different airlines and notice that too. And it's like, even if you don't like the airline itself, it's like you still miss their comfortable seats. Mm-hmm. Like, you ever flew Virgin?
Oh,
I heard
Virgin was great.
Nice. I've never flew Virgin, but one of my friends flew it, and he said, "I'm never flying anything else."
Virgin was great.
Virgin is.
They pump oxygen into the cabin
they
and
just
everything.
cost so much more, but they're like.
I flew Emirates once. That's a good flight.
King International is good too.
Yeah,
but that's because it's so overseas.
Yeah.
But like,
see, I got all the names of the airlines that were like, "Don't fly these airlines," going through my mind, and I'm trying not to say them because I don't want to talk bad about anything.
Frontier.
Yeah, Spirit, Frontier, Allegiant.
Allegiant.
Don't ever fly China Air.
Don't ever fly.
Oh, no.
See,
Man.
I've been on Spirit and Allegiant, and Allegiant pissed me off mainly because, like, how many of you, like, between both of you, when you get your boarding pass, you get it at the airport, or you print it off before you leave the airport and then go to the airport?
I get it at the airport, usually from the little kiosk thing.
They try to charge me to get it from the airport.
Some places have that,
I'm
Spirit. You'll be like, this Spirit ticket is so cheap, and then it'll be like $85 for your carry-on and your personal item. You're like, what?
Why are you charging me for shit that you shouldn't be charging me for?
I'm like, it's just $5.
Hey, they trying to make it. They trying to make it any way they can.
Like, I understand you got to make money.
They got to get new seats. I was on a Spirit flight one time, had an ashtray in the seat, in the arm. I was like, how old?
It's back in
How old is this seat? If it's got it's a Mad Men. This is a Mad Men. It's like.
The thing is, the thing is, the lady gave it to me free because I told her I had no money on me. I only had cards. I didn't really carry cash on me. And then I was flying for free because my the person gave me a ticket worked for Allegiant, so she just gave me the ticket for free.
Oh, you taking flights, huh? Girls giving you flights and stuff?
Yes.
Hey, I ain't mad at you.
Yes, but it was on Allegiant, so it was like, yeah, it was.
Wow. Wow. Talk about. This gift horse got a chipped tooth.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Where'd you go to?
I was going from Florida to Fort Wayne.
Oh, so you got to see your mom for free?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Then I had to fly out here.
So appreciative.
Yeah, I flew from I'll
take that Allegiant. I'll take that flight.
Fort Myers, Florida.
Oh, wait, was this what's her name?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
That one.
Colt Jam.
Yeah. The married one. So,
damn.
So
I need to find a sugar mama.
Right?
I don't even know if that's what the story is, but
no, she wasn't sugar mama. She was just.
She's like, I'm not taking flights, so you could take flights.
oh shit, okay. No, that's still a sugar mama.
Yeah, but
that works out.
She only got so many of those she can give out and use.
Yeah.
You know that, right? And she gave them to you.
Yeah.
That means she cares about you. That's awesome.
But now she flies. She's a attendant on Spirit. So.
Hey, I had a friend. I had a friend that was attended on Spirit. She tried to help me out with a flight once or twice.
So yeah,
that's one thing I did learn. If you like traveling, like date somebody who actually works for an airline. You will get such
people
great
hook
deals.
you up. They were like, "Oh, let me see if I can get you."
Yeah,
I don't know if I have any left for the year, but let me see.
yeah, I mean,
they make those phone calls. They call their friends who also work for the airline.
I've gotten discounts from people, but this is one was just straight up free. Like literally, like I didn't pay for bags or anything. So, but I had to pay $5 for they tried to charge me $5 for boarding pass. And it was like, really?
And you're like, nope, I didn't pay anything. I paid $0, and I'm keeping it at that.
Like $5 at that point, is it worth it?
I was digging, but then I had to pay for the ticket from Indiana to come to L.A.
See, sometimes I feel like when I feel like I get a good flight, I be like, oh yeah, I got a good flight. I'm gonna give me a couple drinks on this.
But then I had to go back.
Good deal.
That was actually one of the best things about Virgin.
Florida, I had to get a ride to get my car because no airline went from L.A. to Fort Myers. So I had to.
Cause why?
Because it's
I'm just messing around. Yeah.
No one goes to Fort Myers.
It's one of those little tiny airports.
Yeah. So it was.
That's almost like coming here to Los Angeles and seeing LAX for the first time and how huge LAX is, but then like coming from Tucson, where Tucson International Airport, like it's called Tucson International Airport. You think it's going to be huge? No, it's like a couple terminals.
I mean,
I went there like a few years ago.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, he picked me up. It's going to be like a bunch of traffic. I was like,
nope.
Is anybody here today?
Yep.
Is anybody in Tucson today on I think it was like a Friday. I was like, What? There's nobody.
I get picked up at the airport at Tucson International, and it's no problem finding whoever's picking me up.
The one in our home city is the international one too. Mm-hmm. So, well, not our his city, but
yeah, kind of.
Well, I found out what it actually means. I found out what it means because a friend of mine actually back in the day worked at Tucson International Airport. What it means is that they are connecting to other bigger international airports. So they're the ones that will do direct flights like to LAX or to other places, whereas like smaller airplanes are airports like Burbank Airport or so, like they can get you to those places, but there might be like spots in between that flight that you have to like stop at or so. And
okay.
So these are things that like depending on your trip of where you're going, you can actually get like a direct flight to LAX with no issue or so.
Oh, okay.
And that's why they call it like international, but it's not. It's really small.
Now that makes me think: do we need to fly into Fort Wayne from now on, or fly out just straight from Fort Wayne?
I mean, I don't
to LAX. I've never even attempted to look it up because where I was born has an airport. It's Gary International. Yeah, Gary International Airport.
I mean, I've only
I flew out of Fort Wayne when I went to Japan.
I only flew into Fort Wayne once. That was from this trip. That was the only time. I mean, I've been past there a lot, but
what was that like?
The plane ride was horrible.
What do you mean?
Japan?
Like, was it like one of those where we like?
Put it like this. Put it like this.
Where you be like,
put it like this.
This is not even shit I can do.
Put it like this.
I'm just sit back.
The chairs.
I'm close my eyes.
The chairs we were sitting on were softer than the seats on that plane.
Wait. The chairs
okay, so
were softer
you
than
can't
the seats
see
on
what we're sitting in. We're sitting in dirty lawn chairs.
Oh, okay. These chairs that we're sitting on right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
It was, and then like they didn't really recline that much, and
They
like
never do.
No, it's always like
1 inch back, and it's
it was
like this.
and then you're like, I hope the person behind me isn't tall, so I'm gonna just move it a
the guy
little
behind
bit,
you.
and
I'm
then
the one behind you, just going, "Fuck you, dude."
and then there's somebody next to you, and they're like all the way back. And you're like, I don't feel comfortable if you're all the way back, and I'm all the way back. They're gonna be squished, so I can't. I'm not gonna be a douchebag. Yeah. I'm gonna be uncomfortable.
Well, the thing is, like, one thing I do like sometimes where when you do look behind you and it's probably like a little kid, and you say,
nah, fuck that.
See, I always feel bad for the person who's in the center seat or so. Like, you get the 3 seats right next to each other, but like, if it's I was that person for traveling to, I think, Peru or so. Actually, might have been Philippines or so. But like, I was the center person for probably about 5 or 6 hours of the flight. Oof. But then suddenly I realized that the 2 like 80-year-old people who were on both sides of me were actually married to each other, and that they felt awkward with me being in the center, and so like we somehow figured out how to actually like signal of like, I will take the window if you I will take one of these other seats so that way you can sit with your wife and stuff, and so we got it figured out, and then the rest of the flight I was a little more comfortable, but.
Still, I've seen tall people sit down in the and be like under the overhead thing counter. Like this is.
Or when you get those older airplanes,
this is uncomfortable.
In the aisle, there's actually the big TV screen instead of it being in the headrest or
something.
But it's like the TV screen that's like on the aisle that has like that little red strip of like saying like watch your head or something. I'm the guy that always bashes my head going like leaving the airplane.
Oh wow. That's one advantage of being short.
Yeah. No, I'm happy with who I am. I love who I am, but at the same time, I look at short people and I'm not being that asshole like making fun of somebody being short. I'm go, no, I actually appreciate that. I wish I could be that guy. Like I was the kid that like back when McDonald's had the ball pit. Or so, like most of the McDonald's, whenever they had that play place or so, I was the actual kid, like in the ball pit with all my other friends. And then the manager comes running out and is like, "You're not allowed in here. Like, you're too old and stuff." And I'm like, I'm the same age as them and everything. And they're like, "Well, you're too big. Get out." And I'm like, fuck, my childhood sucked.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, this got dark real fast. Let's get into some therapy.
No, it's tough. Like, I have a few clients that are pretty tall. Yeah. And, one of them is just like, it's just tough. like stuff. He's like, I'm too big for stuff, or like even if something's not. And I notice like sometimes he'll be in here and he'll move stuff like extra far out of the way, and I'm like, do you have you? Like it's almost like he doesn't have a good sense of like his space, because everything feels like. Yeah. So kind of close. Yeah. Even if it's not close, it's just like if I reach my arm out, it's very close.
Yeah. Well, being in the gym right now, doing this and stuff, is like I look around and everything. Like if I was going to do battle ropes and stuff, like I would have to think about like what's behind me or so. So I have to.
He has to be. I have to like make sure he has the head clearance.
Yeah. Like if I do my sets and everything, like the first thing I also think about is like how many steps back am I going to take based off of like trying to catch my breath and like do my resting and everything. Like it sucks being tall sometimes.
So. Buying shoes.
Oh man, no. I like. Story on that one was like growing up as a kid, you could not find size 13. So 13s didn't really show up till a lot later on or so. Like now they're very common. You can get 13s everywhere. But like back when I was a kid and everything, like getting 13s in like Nikes or so, my sister actually became friends with some of the sports people or so for, I think it was either NFL or baseball in Tucson. But and she would actually ask them, like, hey, where can we get size 13 Nikes or so and stuff? And they actually special ordered them from me because my sister worked at a bar at that point.
See, that's the only thing I could say that I experienced with tall people. Because imagine, like, because I'm short. I'm short.
No, you're not that short, though.
He's short.
5'4". So.
You're 5'4" now?
Yeah, because I lost 2 inches.
Damn.
Oh, but that's still not that short.
I was 5'6", now I'm 5'4".
Yeah.
Nick. Anyway,
you shorter than my girlfriend.
The thing is, it's like
not touching that one.
It's like my feet grew, but my body didn't go up. Yeah. So like I wear.
Oh, you do got some clown feet.
It really depends. It depends. It depends on the
flappity flap.
It's like, and these are like shoes I'm wearing now, I can wear 12s.
Yeah.
But the shoes are
Pennywises.
And if I wear Nikes, I gotta wear a 13.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look right. But anyway, when I was growing up, like imagine seeing a kid that's 4'2" wearing a size 10.
Hell yeah, you had big ass feet, man.
I mean, it didn't look right. It looked like I was wearing like some grown person's shoes because my feet were so big and my body was so small. Yeah. And like,
but you grew into it.
I didn't like this. I didn't go over 5 feet tall until I was in 11th grade.
Yeah.
And I was already, I think my.
Oh shit, you're that small?
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember you being that.
It's a picture of me and my mom. Like.
Your mom's tiny.
And our heads hurt. Like we're like our heads are together. And we're both standing straight up. And my mom's 4'11". You could tell that I'm like that.
Yeah, she's like 3 inches away from getting a check.
She's 4'11". So it's like we were almost the same height. And that's 11th grade year. And wow. I had already was wearing a size 12. Yeah. So I think, yeah.
Man. I just remember, I only remember one kid with giant feet. I think what was his name? Jeff. And you know, like when somebody's like becoming like giant and then you're young, you're like making up stories, like because we remember Jeff had like asthma, and we were like, he had to take steroids, and that's why he's so big. Yeah, that's why he's like huge now. Because steroids. He's a kid.
Oh shit.
And even adults be like, that's some steroids.
Yeah.
Some steroids. Kids ain't be taking those steroids. They're developing.
So those 90s kids.
Yep.
Like everything we know nowadays.
Nothing grows.
Everything was different.
Everything's growing.
Yeah.
Pipes. I need big pants. I need pants. To fill, I need a lot of pants. So my legs feel unrestricted. Why? Why? I mean, now I understand now that like tight pants are coming back. Yeah. How like if you want to run or kick someone in the chest. Yeah. It's like, nah, I really do need like this. If you
want to kick somebody in the chest with tight pants on.
You can't.
You wear your skinny jeans.
You need like, am I?
Who's gonna kick who in the chest?
Rob. Hollywood.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about Hollywood. I wasn't even talking about high school. I was talking about, like, you know, you can't really move. Like, what if you got to jump over a fence and now you're like, oh, I got these nut huggers on. And you're like, I'm fashionably dead because I couldn't get away.
When he say kick somebody in the chest. Like,
Okay, so people used to play basketball in our high school gymnasium. And one morning, this guy named Pig and this other guy named Hollywood Rob got in a fight. And Hollywood Rob...
I'm going to put the money on Hollywood Rob.
Yeah, Hollywood Rob.
If you're going around calling yourself Hollywood Rob,
jumped.
You got some shit going on.
Hit Pig with a jump kick.
Drop kick?
Drop kick. Yeah, drop kick. Yeah, it was drop kick. Yeah, you're right. It was a drop kick. And you remember, did you ever watch like Hercules, the Legendary Journeys?
Yeah.
Or like Xena and like, you know,
with the
like
Kevin Sorbo?
Yeah, you know, they kick them
and
then they like slide against the ground, like slide like all the way across. That's what it was like. And we no longer could go to the auditorium, to the gymnasium to play basketball. Pig.
Like, think about this. So
what a name, Pig.
You had the basketball court.
He looked like a pig.
You had the stands, and then you have the door.
Yeah.
And so we hit him from the 3-point to the door.
Yeah.
So just imagine how hard that kick was.
I mean,
didn't Hollywood Rob fight Dan Severn?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
MMA.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just coming from like wrestling background and stuff, because like I've done the professional wrestling training and everything, like doing all that and everything, like you can get hit. It sucks.
Oh yeah, I have a friend that's she's a female pro wrestler.
He wrestled there, and then he actually did it professionally for because his dad was a wrestler too.
Mm-hmm.
So because he was,
I didn't know.
When he was really young, he used to watch JYD wrestle, and he helped him out a little bit when he was a kid before JYD died. So.
Oh, which by the way, on you and I were having a conversation on Twitter with was it Extreme Rules or so this past weekend or so? I admit I was wrong. New Day won the tag titles.
Oh,
I thought they weren't going to. But
when I said that,
sorry, we're going in wrestling nerdiness.
Oh, I haven't watched wrestling in a long time.
I just said they might win.
Yeah. Well, no, you said they might win, and you want them to win, and I'm like, I wanted them to win, but storyline wise, coming from the wrestling background and everything, I'm like, I can't see them winning. But then they won them, and I was wrong.
I also thought that they might end Kofi's story too. So.
Yeah, no, they should not end Kofi's story. Kofi's story needs to go on for a lot longer.
So basically, okay, fill you in. Kofi is
Kofi. You talking about Kofi Kingston?
Yeah.
I stay a little aware.
It's like on one end, people consider him the first black champion because they don't really want to count The Rock, and also the first WWE champion because not Ron Simmons because that's WCW.
Well, yeah, I know.
But yeah, and then he was born in Ghana, Africa.
Okay,
and so they consider him the first African one also.
Okay,
even though he moved from there when he was like 7 months.
Okay, to where?
He grew up in Boston.
Oh, okay.
So, so that's his story, and people just like that. And now people say, "Oh, now we have black tag champs and a black world champion." So,
well, I mean, I guess those are really
then at the time
big things.
At the time he won, Ricochet was still champion.
I think that's all big and cool things. I don't know if I should say this.
Say it.
Do black people care?
Some do.
Because that's the thing. Some really do understand. I can understand that. But I just feel like, okay, maybe now that I look back at the Attitude Era in different ways, maybe I should look and think of rephrase this. But I feel just like I've never felt like maybe behind the scenes things are different, but I've never felt like wrestling. I always felt like a lot of black stars got like a lot of their due sometimes, except for like maybe Booker T at different times. Like I really thought like this is instead of being an ally, I really thought he should have joined the Four Horsemen at some point. Like
that's understandable.
WCW.
That would have been pretty badass.
But he went on and had I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very
a lot of people look at Booker T.
But I haven't been watching wrestling in a very long time.
I want to say the double-handed sword. Booker, people got upset that it was kind of a racist storyline when he was going against Triple H, and people would say that he should have won that match against him. I think this was like 04 or something like that.
Yeah.
But he lost, and they said that would build up, and
they buried
racial
him.
undertone for nothing.
Yeah.
But also Booker T is kind of an a-hole in real life.
I mean, I actually like Booker, but like I have a really funny story of I met Booker, and he was introduced to me as me being a magician. And we were in a restaurant in Hollywood and stuff. This was after one of the Monday Night Raws or so, and everything. But he's like, "Hey, let's go hang out, and we're gonna go meet Booker and stuff." And I'm like, "Cool, all right, whatever." Walk up to the table, shake hands and everything, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, this is Crow. He's a magician and everything." And Booker's like, "Oh, you're a magician? I fucking love magic. Show me something right now." And I just walked in. I literally haven't even sat down, haven't gotten water, haven't gotten anything. The person who was taking us to our seats with our holding the menus and stuff was just standing right next to me as he's like, "No, I want to see magic right now." And I'm like,
"Show me what you got."
I'm like, "Well, let me go sit down. Let me get settled and everything, and then I'll show I'll come back and I'll show you what's going on and everything." And he's like, No. I love magic. I want to see it right now." And I'm like, "Let me go do this. I will come back." And he's like, No. If you do magic, I want to see magic right now." And I'm like, "You gonna take a bump for me?" And he just paused and he's like, "What'd you say?" And I'm like, "You gonna take in wrestling world, bump is where I will feed maybe a punch or something, but then they fall flat onto their back and everything." And I'm like, "You gonna take a bump for me?" And he's like, it was the weirdest change of Booker T that I've ever seen in my entire life, because you've never seen it. You've always seen Booker as Booker on TV and stuff. He just kind of stopped, sat back down in his chair, and he's like, "I like you. You go do your thing. When you come back, I'll be ready." And I'm like, "Sweet." So I can see the asshole side, but at the same time, I feel like because I kind of stood up to him and everything, he's always been cool with me ever since. Okay. I love Booker. So
I'm like, okay, you're on the level. You're a working man. You understand. You're not just being like.
I can't say exactly why.
Yeah. No. Understandable. I'll understandable.
So let me. I'm going to do something really quick. Go ahead and say your information again.
Twitter, Instagram. You can find me xcaro13x. You can also find me on FetLife, which a lot of people don't want to use FetLife, but I got 10,000 people that follow me on there, so I might as well use it. Which is Caro13.
I have 5 people who follow me on Fet. Different story. Different
Somehow
life.
I utilized it.
Different life. If you want to follow us, we are Burbank Misfits on Facebook. Misfits on the Twitter. The Burbank Misfits on Instagram. You want to follow CW? Go ahead and see.
Christopher _Willie with the IE _J. That's my personal Instagram. Or CC Fitness LA on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
And I'm Rawstarr on Instagram and on Twitter.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for listening to both of these episodes. And tune in next time.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.